Yo, Joe. Here's Brother Head playing at you guys. Welcome to my first live stream unboxing. I've got a bunch of different things since Christmas, and I haven't opened them. I decided to wait and do an unboxing and a review for my show. So I don't know if this may show up on an episode of Bravo Team at some point, or I'm not quite sure, or maybe just be on the YouTube and wherever else you're watching it at. But for anyone that's watching, welcome. So far, it looks like no one's actually watching live, but for those in the future people, from us past people, hello there. So here I am. I had my Firestorm shirt on earlier because today is Firestorm Friday, as a friend and I have dubbed it. But knowing I'm doing this show today and another one later today, I decided to slip on my G.I. Joe periodic shirt. So yo, Joe, guys. So I've got a couple of things. I've got about an hour or so to do this today. So we'll start doing some unboxings and we'll go from there. If you're in the chat, I see one person has joined us. Hello. You can feel free to type any messages, comments, and I can read them on the air. And let's go and get started. So the first thing up, and again, people that are watching either live or later on. Hey, Dr. Brain Fart, welcome to the chat. I see you out there watching us. Glad you could join us, buddy. So again, this is my first time doing this. So if you guys have any suggestions for how to improve it in the future, let me know. But first thing we're going to open up is from GameStop. They had the G.I. Joe Funko Pop Mystery Box. I've actually got two of them. They were on sale. Buy one, get one free. And the things on the table is a Fang, which the Pop Fang, which I already have, and nothing else interests me. So I'll get two. I'll do one for the show, and then maybe I'll give the other one away on an upcoming episode of G.I. Joe or Royal American Headcast. So this is the G.I. Joe Funko Mystery Box. The box itself, if you haven't seen it, it's got the Funko logo on one side. The top has the world famous, as I'm going to call it, image of the G.I. Joe team from the first issue, or original facsimile thereof. On the sides, we've got, who is that? Breaker, it looks like. We've got, the ever popular Snake Eyes. And one of my favorites, Stalker. The bottom box is just a black plain box. It's taped up. This box here has got a little ding in it, so I'm going to open this one up. It's got a couple little dings in the box itself from the shelf. Whenever, when I bought it had a couple of dings in it, but sorry, I'm going to open it up. So let's go and open up the first item and take a look and see what's in there. Hey, Heinz, welcome to the show, buddy. Glad you could join us. In fact, as I said earlier, I've only got about an hour to do this before I have to get ready to get my kid from school. And I probably have more stuff than that. So what I may do is give you guys choice to vote on what I open up and review. But let me do this first, and then we'll take a look at a couple of things, and we'll go from there. So anyone watching can help pick what we're looking at. So there's tape on the front. There's tape on the sides. And again, I could just tear it open, but it's not who I am. So there we go. So it's open. In fact, let me turn this a little bit. We can see the shelf behind me. There we are. Up there on the wall, we have the picture of the pit that I got from Kevin. Thank you again, Kevin. I love it. And I got my Larry Hama figure here from Fresh Monkey. Love having a Larry Hama figure. Fantastic. But let's go ahead and continue with the opening. So here's the contents of the box as it's packaged. So let's pull out the biggest item first, which is the Destro, what is it called? Director Destro pop figure. This is figure number 109 in the set. Like I've said before, I'm not a huge fan of pop figures in general, though I've got just about every G.I. Joe pop there is, and I'm looking for the rest. So what does that say about me? But anyways, so we're going to open this up. I mean, it's a pop figure, so there's not much to it. You either like the pops or you don't, or you're like me and you get them because you're addicted to G.I. Joe. But here is the Destro pop. Like I say, his head moves. He's got his little leopard skin, I guess, cape over his red cape. He's got a little gold briefcase, a little cell phone, I think. I don't know what that is. Something his hand's on fire. I'm not quite sure. He's got his multicolored sunglasses. Well, I say I'm not a huge fan of what they call the Pimp Daddy Destro, and this is kind of what this reminds me of. But it's Destro. Not too bad. So that's the first item in the box. We're going to put Destro over here on the shelf. We'll put him over between Recondo and Dusty. There you go. So that's the first item in the box. Second item in the box I'm going to pull out is a scroll. Maybe it's a magic spell. Maybe it's not. We'll see. So the poster is, it's a reproduction of the G.I. Joe first issue with Funko Pops. Very nice. A mini little poster. It's probably almost the size of my arm long. So it's probably about a foot and a half long, I'm guessing. About a foot longer, so I guess I don't have a tape measure out here with me. But so there's a rolled up mini poster. Very nice. I'll have to see if I find a little frame for it, hang it up out here. So that's the second item in the box. And Heinz, again, he says, hi, Aaron and Brad. And he said he thought it was Serpentor. You thought the pop was Serpentor? No, it was Director Destro. That's what you're referring to. Though I do have a Serpentor pop around here somewhere. I'm not sure where he's at right offhand as I look around for him. I think we got a Serpentor pop. Pretty sure I do. I've got some things boxed up too, though. Next time I'm pulling out, it's a little bag. It's got some Snake Eye stuff in it. So let's see what we have here. Okay, it's a lanyard. It's a Hasbro Pop lanyard. Oh, G.I. Joe on one side. And the other side says Pop. It's upside down. It says Pop and then Hasbro. So it's a lanyard. And on the lanyard, it's got a Funko Pop card on one side. The other side has a little Snake Eyes Pop looking keychain, I guess it is. And then it's got a file card for Commando, codename Snake Eyes. So I'm just looking here, and it looks like it's Snake Eyes' file card in pop size. And I like it's got a little flag point up there for us old school fans. Remember collecting the flag points to buy things. Love it. So I've got a new lanyard with Snake Eyes, both Snake Eyes and his file card on it. I wonder if I can wear two lanyards at work. Anyways, I could use this one. It's just, by the way, I've got a bunch of pins on already, but and you won't be able to see Snake Eyes because I have my ID on the front of it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll wear them. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, a lanyard with Snake Eyes. That is the third item. The next item in here I'm pulling out is a G.I. Joe sticker. I'm just looking here. Okay. Yeah, it's just a little G.I. Joe sticker you can place somewhere. I'm not sure I'm going to place it yet, but that's the next item in the box is a G.I. Joe sticker. Very nice. I like it a bit a little bigger, but it's a nice size. You go on my laptop, maybe on my laptop. Yeah, it's a nice little sticker. So that's the next item in the box. Get these out for now. The next item is an official membership card to the G.I. Joe Mobile Strike Force team, where you put your name on it. It's got a got a membership card for you. And on the back side is a statement of mission. This individual is a first-ranked member of the G.I. Joe Mobile Strike Force team. And from this day forward, we carefully and diligently discharge all the duties of a military soldier to defend America from the enemy army of Cobra Command or International Paramilitary Terrorist Force, which wants to conquer the world for its own selfish purpose. They must be defeated in order to preserve our American way of life. As a member of the G.I. Joe Mobile Strike Force team and others that may be under my command, my military obligation is to go anywhere and do anything to stop Cobra. I'll become an expert in the use of ultra-modern small arms, vehicles, and weapon systems. I may use specialties, train in the latest techniques of warfare and strategy. The motto of G.I. Joe is duty, honor, and courage. I will treat as top secret all tactics, plans, and directions, only divulged to a fellow member of proven trust. And I will obey the orders of directions which I shall receive from my superior officer, according to the rules and regulations of the Defense Department. So that's the back side of the card. You can't read it on the screen, but that's the back card. That's what I just read to you guys. So I've got a G.I. Joe membership card. Very nice. And the final thing in the box is G.I. Joe dog tags. I'm going to open up the little bag with G.I. Joe dog tags. If it's long enough, I may have to start wearing this. I've got another one here I got from the G.I. Joe, either Rise of Cobra or the Retaliation movie. I forget which one it was now, but anyway, so it's a nice little G.I. Joe hard metal necklace. Oh, very nice. So again, this is what it looks like. The chain is big enough to fit around my big head, and I can wear it. So that is the unboxing. I'm assuming all of the boxes are the same. I'm not sure on that, but for now, I'm going to put some of this stuff back in the box. So that was the G.I. Joe Funko mystery box. Like I said earlier, I do have one more that I'm going to give away, I think, on an upcoming episode of G.I. Joe, a Royal American Headcast. So watch for the upcoming streams, and you may be a chance to win one. Almost got the poster. So I got Destro left out. Oh, I'll put the poster back in here, and I will put my lanyard back in there for now. So that is the mystery box from Funko. In case you haven't seen it before, that's what it is. That's what it contains. So 1 second. So we'll go over here to my shelf real quick. I can't see it. Mike's in the way. Put the mic over a little bit. So for those who are watching at home, scissors out of the way. We've got Mutton Junkyard. Something I'm excited to get. I've got the Python Patrol Trouble Bubble. Two Dreadnoks, Buzzer and Ripper. Ooh, I got these from Amazon. We'll talk about that maybe. And then over here we have the Python Patrol Copperhead and the Mad Marauders Barbecue. We've also got a regular barbecue. And I don't have a regular Copperhead yet, but we'll talk about that maybe. So those are what I have. So those in the chat, if you guys have a suggestion for something you'd like to see me open and review, feel free to let me know and I will go that route. Otherwise, it's at my own devices and I'll just randomly pick something over here. I say randomly, something I'm definitely interested in. So let's go ahead and start with Mutton Junkyard. I was excited to get this one. Again, as we know, if anyone that listens to me, I've got a dog named Junkyard. He's currently in the house. He's not here barking. So this is the box for Mutton Junkyard. We're back to the plastic display so we can see what's inside the box. Yay. I was one of those that was not happy. Oh, BA is saying, Mr. Brad Abraham saying the trouble bubble. So let's decide right now. Thank you for the suggestion there, Brad. Again, anyone that's listening, I'm willing to listen to you guys. So we'll skip Mutt for now, and we'll go to the trouble bubble. Full disclosure, this is my second one. I've already got one open, the regular one on my shelf or my table next to my desk, but this is the Python Patrol. So again, I'm not a huge fan of the submissions and sub teams and all that, like Python Patrol. That came when I was getting out of G.I. Joe. But the wife was at Target one day and she called me up and she's like, well, they got, these figures. Do you have the trouble bubble? I'm like, yeah, I've got one of those already. And I never mind had a second one, but I'm like, is it the regular one or is it the Python Patrol? And she got a look and she described it, it's the Python Patrol. Like, I wouldn't mind having that, and they also had, as I mentioned earlier, Copperhead. And she just told me Copperhead. She didn't tell me it was the Python Patrol. I didn't have either one. So, I don't have a Copperhead yet. I wouldn't mind having that. So she picked me up a Copperhead, and she also picked up the Trouble Bubble. Oops, front side, here you go, the Trouble Bubble. So here's the Trouble Bubble. We got our box art. We got the Trouble Bubble, several Trouble Bubbles flying around here with the Televipers on it. We got the little mine floating up here. We've got the pyramids here in the back. And I forget which episode that was that they had the pyramid. That was one of the first two miniseries, I believe, that the pyramids pop up in. All these box art ones have references to either the comic or something. So here we got a close-up shot of the drawing of the Televiper. Up here we got a listing of what equipment comes with or what comes in it. On the side, we have the number of the product. This is number 98 with a QR code you can scan. The other side, we got a picture of the Televiper, and again, the product number. This is number 98, once again. The top just has the G.I. Joe classified logo on it. Bottom is just a regular bottom black box. And the back, we do have an image of the Televiper and the Trouble Bubble with everything that comes with. It's in the box. Got some close-up shots of the Televiper here on the side. So again, this is before they went back to the plastic packaging. This is when they were still under the plasticless packaging, which again, as I said a few moments ago, not a fan of, but it is what it is. I like to be able to, a lot of times, I like to display my toys on the shelf without taking it off. As you can possibly see here in the background, I've got, like, say, Dusty, Tiger Force Recondo, Scrap Iron, and a few others still in the box. So I like to be able to display it. And some of the package art's nice. Like, this one's not a bad package art. Some of it, like the Zorana box art, I didn't care for. So much you guys, but anyways, so this is the box. It's got a tape on each end. I think I already opened up this side. So we're going to go and open the box up and see what's in there. So I pull it out. There is a half size, 3/4 size part of the box. Has the Televiper and the Trouble Bubble itself with a background drawing of a Televiper. So this is in part of the box. Set this to the side right now. We'll get to this in just a minute. And in the other quarter of the box, we have the Televiper and Cobra Flight Pod, aka Trouble Bubble. It's got the number on the top, on the bottom, for where I'm at, the bottom. It's got the number. It's got the Cobra logo on the back. This is a little ammo box, I think they called it, on the Hasbro streams with all the weapons and peripherals in it. So this is what's in there. So let's go ahead and open it up. So this one has 2 sealed bags. They got the Cobra and the G.I. Joe logos on it. 2 of them. And I've already bored someone and they left. Actually, 2 people left. Sorry to see you guys go. So we're going to open up the bag. Just tear it open. Pull it out. We got, I think it's one of the gun, the bottom gun. It's got, there's, I can tell you can't see it very well. There's a missile in there. A second missile, which we'll open in just a minute here. It's got the hose for the Televiper. It's got the mine. It's in black. And it looks like it may be removed. I'm not going to remove it because I don't want to lose it. But there's a access panel there you can probably remove. Whoops. I'm losing things. One second, guys. Oh, okay, I know what it is. And you know what these are? These things are dropping. They're little studs that go on the side of the trouble bubble, which I'll show you in a minute. There's a few things you have to put together in the trouble bubble. You got the Televiper's backpack, which is a classic look for the Televiper from the figure, along with his classic looking gun. And the hose connects the gun to the backpack right there. Actually, on the bottom, I think. Yeah. On the bottom, you can hook the gun to the backpack. Whoops. And then you get 2 heads for the Televiper. You get a black guy and a white guy, Caucasian and a African American head for your Televiper. You can switch their heads around. That is one package. The second package, again, we're going to open it up. And I'm anal, so I'm going to put these bags back in the box. And this has the rest of the trouble bubble, the flight portion of it, the jet engines. Then pods down here move, the skids or whatever it is to fly back and forth. Very nice. So I'm going to box some of this stuff back, the papering back up, just because I'm going to throw these Tula pieces away. And let's go ahead and box this up for right now. Put it to the side. Also, back to the things that came in the box. Let's pull this all out. We have, as I said, there are 2 yellow missiles that go on the flight pod. Missile 1 and Missile 2. There we are. Missile 2. Very nice. And then also, as I said, there is the gun for the trouble bubble. So that's the accessories, the side pieces. Now let's look at the trouble bubble and the Televiper himself. So these are strapped on. So I'm going to need my trusty, rusty scissors again to open up this. So there's 2 bands on the top. So I snapped off 2 bands and it came right out. We'll put the guy down there. And here is the trouble bubble. It's got the dark canopy on this one. The other one has a lighter canopy, the regular one. On the front, we've got the Cobra logo and a little display screen. The lid opens up. We've got the control stick, which you can move back and forth. Which goes up and down. It's got the seat belt, so you can strap your guy in so he doesn't fall out. This one's a yellow seat belt. The original one was like a reddish color. And then we got the trouble bubble itself in the Python Patrol colors. It's got the red with the silver, the yellow. Supposedly, it's supposed to help against radar finding it. Inside, it's very detailed. These don't move. If you look inside, you can see this. There's some detail there on the console. Very nice looking. There's like a little radar detector or something down there. It looks like. You can't really see it that well here, but the trouble, the lid will snap on somewhat. So as I said, you do have to put together a few steps. So these little black things that kept dropping, these go on the side here. They just pop in. Get the right side on the right side. So again, if you got fat fingers, it may not work as well. Or bad eyes. There we are. So there's a little peg that goes in a little hole on the side of the trouble bubble. There we are. It snaps on like that. And one on this side. Same way, it just there's a little, where am I at there? Barely see, there's a little peg right there. And it goes in the little hole in the side that you can't really see because of the lighting. But it just pops right in. And then the guns, the missiles. There's a little slit in it. There it is. Like the old figure or like the old weapons. It just pops on the side, one for each side. like that. So you got the missiles on the side of the trouble bubble. And then the last part is the engine itself. There's two pegs. If I hold it just right, you can see the two pegs. And there's two holes in the back here. You just go right in. Give it a little firm little push. And there you go. And pull the lid, canopy up. And there is the trouble bubble. Ooh, ah. I don't know what it is about. Something about these trouble bubbles just makes me smile every time I see it. Maybe I'm a dork. I don't know. But here's the trouble bubble all put together. Like I say, just a few pieces you have to put on for this one. And now you're free to fly around. Back over to the other weapons real quick just to finish up the... Oh, forgot one thing. Sorry about that. The gun. Down here on the bottom of the control stick, there is a little knob. And there is a corresponding hole in the... You can't see it. There you go. In the top of the gun. It just pops right on. A little force. Even though the judge said not to. See, I got to use a little force to get that get that little peg in the hole. I'm afraid of using too much because I don't want to break anything. But there. It's now firmly attached. And the gun itself can go up and down, left and right, independent of the control stick. So this is the trouble bubble. And we have Zarl's Clubhouse joining us. Hey, Zarl. Glad you could join us. He says, yo, frickin' Joe. I agree, buddy. Yo, frickin' Joe. Back to the box. Again, we have the Televiper. And again, these aren't the ones that have ties you're going to tie like some of the previous figures. These have little plastic things that are clipped in. So I've got to cut the ones on his feet. There's one on each foot. And there is by his arm. Whoops. On each, all holding each of his arms in. Put my scissors down. And we have the Televiper. With the Televiper off and the trouble bubble off, here's the back of the box art. It's a very nice drawing of a Televiper. I like that. I like that artwork. What do you guys think? Welcome everyone that's joined us in the chat so far, or in the either chat or the YouTube, wherever you guys are watching at. But this is the box, the background art for the Televiper, for the trouble bubble. Very nice. Zeri, am I pronouncing that right? Is it Zeri? Zerl? Zerl? That's how I'm going to pronounce it. Let me know if I'm wrong. He says artwork looks epic, which I agree. In fact, this would have been nice, I think, to have the plastic packaging so you could see what you're getting. Plus the artwork would have been very nice to see on the shelf, I think. But what do I know? So for now, I am placing this. I'm going to display this on the shelf when I'm done. So all of this is going back into, I'm sealing up the cargo box. Again, I'm keeping the paper just because I'm anal. This goes back in the box. And, oops, I'm going to drop my Televiper. And we'll go ahead and pet this for now back in the box. Maybe I'll pull out and display it at some point. We've got enough stuff hanging on the walls right now, but maybe I'll switch things around. So back to the Televiper. So we got the Televiper with 3 heads, and I was mistaken earlier. So he's got the African-American head on. This one, at least. He comes with a white face, Caucasian, I guess. And this one's just a, I got bad eyesight, and the lighting looked like a black guy, but it's the full of armored, so you can't really see face. You can't see what he looks like underneath. And from the chats, Zazel's Clubhouse. I think I've heard Chad mention you, Zazel. He says that Zazel sounds like Hazel with a Z, like Z, like Zay or Zell. It's a weird one. Zazel. Thank you, Zazel. Facebook user says excellent artwork. I'd frame it, laugh out loud, thinking about it. And Zazel says that yellow really pops. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the Python Patrol, the Tiger Force, and all that. But not only is this a trouble bubble, but yeah, like Zazel says, the yellow on this really pops. It's very nice. So here is the Televiper. The head, you can somehow, their head comes off. I'm afraid of breaking it, so I don't pull too hard. There it goes. I pull it and the head pops off, and you can swap it out with the white fella or the whatever color he is. He's got a battle helmet on. For now, I've got the white head on the other guy. So on this one, we're going to leave the brother from another mother on. Got the black guy's head on. There we are. So again, the leg a little stiff in moving, but not too bad. I've seen worse. So his ankles move. His feet move a little bit, not really. His ankles move. He moves at the knees. The legs, of course, move. His waist moves around. His arms can move. His hands can move at the elbow. And, of course, his head can swivel. He's got a vest on over his jackets, which makes it hard for the backpack to go on. Oh, no, there's a hole there. So again, so if you want, you can put the backpack on the figure. There's a little hole there. I don't know if it's quite big enough, the hole, but the backpack can go on. The hose can go onto his backpack. And that attaches to his gun. Hold this up so you guys can see it. And so, again, it's a classic looking gun that came with the original Televiper. For those of you us out there that remembers the original Televiper, he's got the gun. Like I said, I like that he has the changing heads. I'm going to pull his backpack off for now. Like I said, the backpack doesn't stay on great. Oh, the hole needs to be a little bigger in the back, but maybe I just got to pork it a little bit. But very nice figure. I like that we have the switchable heads. So again, and the rest of them's covered up, so you can't tell what color he is except for his head. So if you want to have a black, if you're a black, want a black character, you want to have a white guy, or if you want to have the indistinguishable, I don't know what you are, but here's your battle armor head. So I like that. So back to the Televiper, the flight pod that I love. So again, we can bend him in his knees, bend him in his legs. I think my original one's boxed up. I think there was a hole so you could put him on so he stays. This one here, there's no hole. There's no peg in the flight pod itself to hold him on. So you got to put him in. And as Azazel says, a battle armor helmet is a cool idea. I agree with you. I do like that they gave him, especially since he's going out in battle. I do like the battle helmet idea of that. And I like that you can switch it back and forth. So you can really play with it. If you play with it, you don't just play it. But anyways, the seat, whoops, I dropped one of the missiles. 1 second, guys. So one complaint that I have is that these missiles the pegs don't always stay on very well. May want to glue it on. I'm thinking about maybe doing that if you play with it too much. But here is the Televiper in the pull his arm out. We can close the flight pod lid. And here is the Televiper in the flight pod. So again, I really love the flight pod. I think they did an excellent job. We can open the canopy so you can get in and out. And this one here, it's got a base. So I think the other one sat more on the ground. This one here is raised up a little bit to make it a little more realistic looking, I guess. Again, there's not any protection to protecting you from the enemy, but it's nice. It can fly around and dodge things easier. And I don't know, just whenever I see the flight pod, as I said, it makes me smile. Like when the opening of either the cartoon or the movie, they show the flight pods come flying out. I just get a big grin on my face. I don't know what it is about these things. It just fills me with so much joy. But here is the flight pod. As BA says, Brad in the chat says nice, and Zazel says iconic. And I agree, my friend. I agree. On the flight pod itself, like there's just some stickers, supposedly, or paint job, whatever. And then on the back, it's got the Python Patrol logo on both sides, along with the serial number. So again, yeah, the Python Patrol, if I remember right, is supposed to help against radar and allow you to get in between radar and not be seen as easily. So this is the flight pod. And just for comparison's sake, 1 second, reach on my desk. And here is the other one. So again, I got the white fellow there, so I got the black fellow here. Again, they're the same thing, just different colors. The canopy is clear, where this one's tinted. The regular one has the Cobra logo on the engines. Otherwise, it's pretty much identical. It's got serial numbers painted onto it. The missiles on the original is light black, dark brown, where these are the yellow ones that pop. And Facebook user, I'm not sure who that is. It doesn't show me. Just ask, does it have a stand to display off the ground? No. The only display, there's just the pegs there that you can set like that. It doesn't come with a way to prop it to make it look like it's flying. As you can see, it sits on the ground flat, though. It's not. If I remember right, the other one was a little smaller than the figure, so the legs were staying on the ground. Here, the pod itself sits on the ground. If you have any other questions about it or any other comments, please feel free to throw it in the chat. But here is the Python Patrol Flight Pod. Very nice. Again, I'm very happy to have a second one. So we're going to move that one to the side. And I've got to first one put this. And my son comes out when I'm working sometime, my 8-year-old. He'll be 9 in a couple of weeks now. Oh, no less than that, 10 days, 9 days. He'll be 9. He comes down, he'll take my flight pod off my desk and fly it around and take it over my counter over here with my toys and start playing my toys. The collector, he's like, but the proud father in me likes to see my son playing with my figures. So as long as he's careful with them, I don't mind. And I've bought him his tank before, one of the regular ones they had at Walmart, and he lost the canopy and he doesn't take care of it. That's why I haven't bought him any for himself yet. But thank you, Zazel, for the birthday wishes to my son. His birthday is the 28th, the same day as my grandmother, of January. My oldest son turns 31 on the 24th. So a lot of birthdays this month. But this is the flight pod. And if you guys have any questions, we'll move on. So we're going to move this over here out of the way. I'm going to throw these cardboard pieces that protected the missile and the gun away. I don't need those anymore. And everything else, the gun, the backpack, and the extra heads. I was trying to hold it so I show you guys, but I uncoordinated. We're going to throw that back in the box for now. In fact, what I'm going to do, I've done smart. I would have done this to begin with. So while I'm boxing this back up, I've got just about a half an hour to go before I have to start boxing things up and get ready to get my son from school. What would you guys like to see next? I have Mutton Junkyard. I have Buzzer and Ripper. I have the Python Patrol Copperhead and the Mad Marauder Barbecue. If you guys have something you want to see, let me know. Otherwise, it's dealer's choice. And as I mentioned earlier, I'll probably go for Mutton Junkyard. I say right now, my junkyard's in the house. I don't want them out here with all these loose toys and what have you. But I thought about bringing them out. So anyways, that is the flight pod. This will go over my box stashes of other boxes I have over here. Zazel says Mutton Junkyard gets his vote. Smart man, I agree with you. So we're going to go for Mutton Junkyard. So as I started talking about earlier, here is Mutton Junkyard. Again, we're back to the clear plastic packaging so you can see what you're getting. I like that because a lot of times when you're buying things sight unseen, especially getting off the store, someone may have opened and taken something out or something may be damaged. Here you can see everything. We've got Mutt, Junkyard, and some guns for Mutt, his helmet, some other peripherals, some other hands, and a swappable head for Junkyard, which we're going to get to. The box art, again, we've got a little picture here of Mutton Junkyard. Very nice drawing. I like that. The side, again, has a little picture of Mutt with the product number, which is number 113 out of the collection, and a QR code you can scan. Plus some little logos here for G.I. Joe, the G.I. Joe logo. The other side has that same drawing from the front with the number. So if you want, you can display it like this or display it like this if you don't want to take it out of the box. And the Retro Tinker is here. Hey, Retro Tinker. He says, good day, everybody. Or everyone. Good day. Glad you could join us. So let's go ahead and take a look at Mutton Junkyard. So it's taped here on the top. So I'm going to pull my trusty scissors out. And pop this open. Again, they may be rusty. They've been out in the garage for quite a while. Zazel says retro. So we're going to pull this out. Again, unlike the Flight Pod, this one here, the background is just the G.I. Joe logo. Nothing fancy on this one. Oh, I forgot about the back. I'm sorry. I forgot about the back of the box, guys. Let's go to the back of the box real quick. We have the actual figure decked out. Plus, it shows some of the things it comes with. The regular head. I think it's his vest. Yeah, it's a close-up of his vest. And the other head for Junkyard. Very nice. So this is the box. Again, got the number up here. It's number 113 out of the collection. Our label, G.I. Joe Mutton Junkyard. And it's got the general junk on here. So that is the box for Mutton Junkyard. We'll put that to the side. And we'll go to the figure itself. So here is the figure. The figures. This one I got off of Amazon. I was going to order it through Hasbro Pulse, but I saw it at Amazon, and I'm a Prime member, so I get free shipping. So it's cheaper in the long run to do it that way. So we pull out the character, and we have Mutt. His head rotates, his arms, elbows, wrist, all move. Elbow's a little stiff, not too bad. I've heard worse. Zazel says that it's cool that Junkyard gets alternate heads. I agree. We've got his vest. Again, we got a hole in the back of him so you can plug on backpacks or other accessories. Again, he moves at the thighs here. The knees supposedly bent. Again, they're a little stiff. And that's one problem with a lot of these figures. The knees are a little stiff. This one's not too bad. His ankles move. He can rotate his ankles. And his foot. See, this foot's a little more free. This one moves a little bit more. This one, again, is a little stiff. So this foot's a little loose. Not much loose, but it moves freely. This one's kind of stiff. So this is Mutt. Here's the back of him, the side. And Retro Tinker says he looks good. So much articulation. Yes, that's one thing I love about these classified figures for the most part is they have a lot of articulation and you have a lot of playability with them. As far as the main man himself, Junkyard, nothing holding him in except for the packaging, so I pop him out. And here is Junkyard. Again, he's got the angry face on to begin with. Again, his head and neck moves. Of course, his head is detachable. You can pop it off and pop on the other head. He's got a collar. Got to watch out so you don't lose the collar when you pop his head off. We'll pop that bad boy back on for right now. He moves at the legs and at the knee joint here, I guess. The knee and the legs. And here it moves again, a little stiff on the back, high on the legs. Okay, it doesn't move. It rotates. That's why. So his leg rotates. It doesn't move back and forth. It rotates left and right. Same with his front legs. And he stands at attention. He's got the harness here, so he can be controlled a little easier. Though, again, as they talk about in the comics, I think Mutt's the one that needs to be controlled because he's one with the muzzle. It doesn't look like his harness comes off, which is fine. His harness is stuck on him. It's permanently attached. I mean, it's not attached to the figure, but there's no way to pull it off easily, I can see. As Zazel says, that's one powerful pooch. And if you don't want the anger, see, as I warn you, and I should do it anyway. Hold on one second, guys. I dropped his collar. So we can pull off his head. The other one just pops out of the packaging for now. I'm gonna put the head that came on, the angry head, back in the packaging so I don't lose it. Again, the head there's a hole in there on a little peg. It just pops on. So you got the happy, scrappy junkyard, if that's the look you'd rather go for. Again, his head moves here and his neck moves. Huh? Also for the main man himself, not the main dog, but the main man, Mutt, he's got a helmet. And I like that a lot of these figures have removable helmets. I know he's got a removable helmet. Shipwreck, his hair comes off and switches with or without the hats. Again, classic Mutt. He's got his muzzle. Sorry, let me show you. He's got his muzzle. A little hard to see. It's kind of small, but the muzzle slides onto his head. I'm afraid of breaking it, but I'm going to slide on anyways. Not over his eyes, Aaron. There you go. So again, his muzzle goes down over his face, like so. And then his helmet goes on, and then you have a classic looking Mutt, muzzle and all. I'm not going to remove his hands. He comes with 3 sets of hands. He's got 3 sets of hands in there. I'm not going to switch them out, but he can point, and he's got a fist. Different combinations you can do. And then he comes with a knife, which I will pull out. Put that down there. And whoops, something came off. He comes with a little knife. His little knife that can go in his vest. It tucks in right there. Oops, one second. I actually turn my gaming hub on. Turn that. Let me close this. Turn you off. Sorry about that, guys. Little knife, as I said, can go in his little holder here. And he's got a place here for a gun. So we're going to do that. We're going to pull his gun out. His gun can go in his holster down here. Down here's a little holster. His gun can go in there, like so. And I was seeing there's a place for his nightstick. I don't see anything. Over in the chat, Zazel says he looks rough. Bad joke, Zazel, but I like it. And Zazel, let me see. Oh, I'm sorry, Retro Tinker says that I never thought about alternate heads on dogs. That's awesome. I'll totally have him as a lovable goofball. And that's what I've got him as right now, as a lovable goofball, because that reminds me of my junkyard. Zazzle says, now he said, sick 'em, boy. And that's when you get the angry face on. Gaz shows up. He says, boom, the door gets kicked in. Legends. Welcome, Gaz. Welcome to the chat. And Retro Tinker says, that's not a knife. This is a knife. Again, I've tried my bad Australian accent. I hope my Australian friend out there, Australian friends, I got 2 of them, don't get offended by my horrible accents. Forgot to put his collar back on. So we got goofball, lovable, junkyard, and Mutts. The other he comes with a nightstick, which we're actually going to give him. I'm going to let him hold on to the nightstick. So we'll put the nightstick, if I can figure out how to hold a nightstick. We'll put the nightstick in his hand. Let me show you real quick. Sorry. Here's the nightstick. And apparently Zazel is a Aussie also. He says, I've got a couple more Aussie friends now. Well, thank you. Glad to have you on my friends. We'll pet his nightstick in his hand. But yeah, over on this show here, my G.I. Joe show, I've got David Finn from Australia, who's a regular guest. And then over on my Starbright project I do with my wife, we have Hayden McQueenie from Land Down Under. So Retro Tinker says, oi, oi, oi. Says, oi, oi, oi. And Zazel says, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. So I got 2 Australians. Right on. Hope I don't offend you guys with my horrible accent. But anyways, here is, whoops. I'm doing it on this retro pop box, or the pop box, so it's not great. But here we have Junkyard and Mutt. I'm sorry, Mutt and Junkyard. And I'll put this down. And then the other accessory in here is his rifle. Oh, and then he's got a couple of, I think these are smaller. Oh, goggles. He comes with goggles also. Put it out close to the camera so you can see. He's got 2 sets of goggles, it looks like. Put these back in the box so I don't lose them. Before I lose them, because I will. In fact, I mean, you get a bag. There it goes. And then he's got his rifle. So those are the accessories. So I'm going to put this back in the box as is. And I'm going to leave Junkyard out. And Mutt. My son to come out and play with. And Gas says, now you're telling me, see. So, sorry. Zazel says that. Let me go back a couple steps here. Gas says the dog looks cool, but I'm sure a tiger would be cooler. Zazel says Tiger Force Mutt would come with a tiger. And Gas says, now you're talking, Zaz. So, yeah, I love Junkyard, but I wouldn't mind seeing a tiger version of it. So anyways, that is Mutt and Junkyard. I'm running out of time. I don't think I have time to open up another toy at this point, but maybe I'll do another show here in the near future and look at the Dreadnoks or something else I have. But what do you guys think? So far today, we looked at bring back out the G.I. Joe Funko Pop mystery box. Like I said, I'll be giving one of these away on an upcoming episode of G.I. Joe, a Royal American Headcast. Watch for that. I've opened up the Trouble Bubble. I'll bring the box up, but I'll bring the actual Trouble Bubble. The Python Patrol Trouble Bubble. And my favorite of the group, Mutt and Junkyard. Very nice. Zazel says, great stream. Thanks for the reviews. Well, thank you. Again, make sure you smash that like button if there's a like button for you. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. We'll be back on. I should be back on at 4:00 p.m. Pacific time to talk with Jim Beard about something called DC Jones, something he's working on. And then, excuse me. And then Sunday, me and the guys will be back on for our Bravo team to talk about the Order of Battle. And normally I'm here on the 4th Sunday of the month. This month we pulled it forward a week because, as I mentioned earlier, the 28th, which is the 4th Sunday, is my youngest son's birthday. So I'd say, you know what? I'll be a good dad for once and not schedule something for his birthday. Yeah, it says you just subscribed. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Anyone else that hasn't, feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, check me out. Like I said, I try to be here. Again, I skipped December because of the holidays and everything, but I try to be here the 4th Sunday of the month. I know my podcasts have been a little erratic lately, but apparently I misread. Yeah, Gas said just subscribe, Bubby. Buddy, I meant Buddy. I thought maybe you were, from Die Hard. What's up, Bubby? Who's got your back, Bubby? But thank you guys very much. Retro says he's a new subscriber here also. Thank you guys. Like I say, as I was saying, my shows have been a little erratic lately as far as getting released. I'm working on getting that improved. I've released both episodes. The G.I. Joe episode was a little late, but I've also released the Adventure Continues. Next week, we'll be looking at Bravo Team. And then, like I said, so every month I do my G.I. Joe, a Royal American Headcast. It should come out on the first Thursday of the month. The second Thursday is the Adventure Continues, where we look at the role-playing game. We play the role-playing game. I just released episode 17. Unfortunately, we only have 20 or 21 episodes of that show. We had to put on a hiatus because of work and everything else. If we get it, so I'll release those 20 or 21 episodes I've got out. And then if we start playing again, I'll start re-releasing that. Otherwise, it'll go away for a while. And then the third Sunday of the month is Bravo Team. Every other month, I'm looking at special missions with my guest, David Finn, plus whoever else I can get on the show. And then the other weeks is something else G.I. Joe related. Like I said, I'm recording Order of the Battle this Sunday. And that'll probably be split up into 2 episodes, I'm thinking. I'll do the Joes and the first 2. I think it was the first 2 issues of Joes in 1 episode. And then possibly the Cobras and Vehicles in the second episode I do. So we'll see how that works out. Depends how much time we have to work on it Sunday and if I can get the whole thing done. So I'm looking at it. Sorry, my phone was going off. And let me mute that real quick. Okay. So anyways, then I've got my other shows on my network. I've got Head Speaks, which I look at anything geeky. Currently, I'm going through the Power of the Atom series, which lasted 18 issues. I'm on episode 12 or 13. Will be coming out this next month. Excuse me. That comes out the first Tuesday of the month. Put my list to make sure I get it right. So yeah, the first Tuesday of the month is Head Speaks. And I was wrong earlier. The first Thursday of the month is Starbright Project. That's where I look at the Quantum Leap TV show. Me and the wife, along with our one of our Australian friends, Hayden McQueenie, we started out, again, looking at the original series. Me and Hayden are longtime fans. My wife, it's the first time watching it. But then the new show came out, so we had to skip around so we see episodes. So right now we're looking at the new series, which I call season 6 and season 7 of Quantum Leap. But check that out. And then the second Tuesday of the month is Task Force X, where I look at the Suicide Squad. And it was looking at Checkmate, but I finished with that one. So right now it's a Suicide Squad book written by Larry Hama. Crossing paths here. Written by John Ostrander. That comes out the second Tuesday. The second Thursday of the month is the G.I. Joe, Royal American Headcast. The third Tuesday is the Starman Adventure Show. So I look at the Will Payton Starman comic, which I love. The third Thursday is The Adventure Continues. And then the fourth Tuesday is Voyager's Cast, where the wife and I look at the Voyager's TV series from 1982. Currently, we're on episode 16 or 17 of that, and that ran 20 episodes, plus we're going to do a special or 2. So that's coming near to an end. And then the last Friday, or the fourth Thursday, God, I'm getting this messed up. Try that again. The fourth Thursday of the month is Bravo Team, which I mentioned earlier. So go ahead and join us. Go Figure has joined us. Hey, Go Figure. Glad you could join us. I'm a little late, but hey, glad you could be here. But again, I would like to stay a little longer and do another one, but I've got to leave here in half an hour to get my son. So Gas says, which series from 1982? I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I'm looking at on my G.I. Joe show. I'm looking at the G.I. Joe show that started in 1982. Or are you talking about the Voyagers? Voyagers is a time travel show that was in 1982 through 1983. It only lasted 1 season. Doing good. How are you doing? Go Figure. Glad you could be here. Adam, glad you could join us. But yeah, I'm doing good. My first live stream, so take a look and see what you guys think. If you guys have any suggestions for me, please feel free to let me know. Yeah, the one I review with my wife it's Voyager's Cast. Like I say, it started in 1982. It only ran 1 season. It stars John Hexam. I'm mispronouncing his name. And let me pull up the information out real quick for you. Voyager's TV show. So yeah, so it starred John Eric Hexam as Phineas Bogg and Mino Palouse, I'm probably mispronouncing his last name, as Jeffrey Jones. Phineas is a time traveler who accidentally grabs up this young boy named Jeffrey, and they go traveling through time, try to fix what went wrong. So Go Figure asks if it's as good as the show Sliders, because that's the peak time dimension travel show. I like the first 2. I enjoyed Sliders. The first 2 seasons was the best. Third wasn't bad, and they had problems. They moved. They started changing things. Wasn't as good at that point for the last season or 2. But I like Voyagers. It's different shows. I mean, Sliders, they went through different realities, whereas Voyagers, they're going through time, and it's a little more of a time. It's actual time travel. And so they do have some history. Again, every episode of the show ended with Jeffrey saying, if you want to learn more about the Wright brothers or whatever they talk about in that episode, go to the library and it's in a book. I love that because, again, I'm a big fan of libraries. So it's a little bit of a different show. I like them both. Again, Voyagers came out in 1982. So, I mean, the some of the graphics or the CGI or whatever special effects may not be as great. But and there are a few. I say it's not perfect. There's a few questions I have during the show. I mean, and again, check out the show if you want to hear some of those questions. I'm not getting to that here, but Gaz says Rembrandt was the man. Yes, I liked Rembrandt. I liked all the original cast. I don't know which was the best, but they were all good. And Adam says, wasn't there a show in the late 90s, early 2000s about a guy that go back 7 days? Yeah, there was a time travel show about a guy that could go back. And I remember watching that. What was that? Let me do a quick search real quick. It was called, oddly enough, 7 Days. Came out in 1998. It lasted 3 seasons. The plot follows the secret branch of the U.S. National Security Agency, which developed a time traveling device based on alien technology found at Roswell. As the opening of the show recounts, the chronosphere or backstep sphere is capable of sending one human being back in time 7 days to avert disasters. And Adam says special effects don't need to be good. If the characters and story are good, we need to be reminded of that. Yes, I definitely. Like I said, I enjoy the show. There's a few quirks here and there with a few questions I've got about it. Some things that don't quite make sense if you look at it too hard. But overall, I'm enjoying it, and the wife's enjoying it. And she's a bit harder to please. If you got time travel, I'm all in. She's a little harder to please. She's not the TV person I am, and she's enjoying it also. So definitely, if you're interested in that, I've got 16, I think, episodes released so far. Maybe 17. I'll have to look and see. 16 or 17 episodes released, and we're coming up near the end of that show. So, again, I want to. Zazel says many movies are ruined by reliance on SFX. Yes, on special effects. Yes, many shows are ruined by too heavy. I mean, in fact, that's part of my problem with the prequels. For Star Wars prequels is that I think he leaned a little too heavy on the technology, the special effects, or the CGI. Not necessarily special effects, but the CGI leaned too heavily on that, whereas the original one was more practical effects, which looks better. So, but again, it's a little after 2, so I'm going to have to call it here in a minute. I'll give you guys a couple minutes. We can chat a little bit. But I got to get my son from school. So, but yeah, if you guys are interested in seeing me do this again with some more, like I said, I've got, as I showed you guys earlier, I've got Buzzer and Ripper. I've kept them boxed up so I can do a special unboxing on them. Waiting on Torch to get all 3 of the original Dreadnoks. I've also got Zartan and Zaran already. So, and then I've got the Mad Marauders Barbecue and the Python Patrol Copperhead. That's what I got at this point. And I've also got Old Man Outback, as I call them. The Tiger Force Outback over here I haven't opened up yet. So I've got several things I can open. I got some other things on the shelf I haven't opened yet. So if you guys want to see things, let me know. And from the chat, Retro Tinker, Smart Man says, I'm assuming man, says that the story should always come first. This is true. And Go Figure says, Turtles have never looked better than they did in the live action in 1990. Amen. Yeah, I don't like a lot of this newer Turtle stuff. Maybe it's just because I'm old. And Zazel says, yo, freaking Joe. So I think we're going to call it there. Just make sure I didn't have an emergency on my phone. We're going to go call it here. So like I say, check us out if you're free. I think Chad's got something going on about the same time. So if you're over there on Chad's show, I don't blame him. Chad's a good guy. I like his show too. If you're free, come back here at 4:00 p.m. Pacific time. And I will be talking with Jim Beard about DC Jones. And then Sunday, me and the guys will be here probably for a 3-hour tour or so to talk about the Order of Battle. I'll lay Junkyard down, or about down for now. Be sure to join us. And like I say, be sure to join us here. Usually the 4th Sunday of the month, when we record something for G.I. Joe. Usually it's the main show, looking at the comic book and the cartoon from the 80s, early 90s. But I'm a little ahead on those, or behind on releasing, however y'all look at it. So I'm fitting some other stuff in right now. So I guess that's going to do it this time. Go Figures is a great first stream. Looking forward to more. Well, thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed. I'm glad I've got so many people here. I'm a little surprised, but I got 7 people watching right now. So thank you guys all for joining me. And I guess that's going to do it. We're going to end the stream. So I'm going to, again, as I do, I steal from other shows. So I'm going to steal from the Long Box Crusade, and I'm going to leave an 80s Frozen face.